Comrades! 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 Can you... Comrades! Comrades! Comrades from Northern Cape, Western Cape, Limpopo, Free State, KZN, comrades, can we go back to our seats? Can we go back to our seats, comrades? The media will cover all of you. Let's go back to our seats, comrades. Let's go back to our seats, comrades. This side, please go back to your seats, comrades. Let's go back to our seats, comrades. Comrades, can you leave the media there? Go back to your seats. Tulani ni jonge kala endaweni zenu. Don't come here. Comrades, sukani maqabane. Amandla ngawethu malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi. Comrades, makhosikazi, oko xa sibiza amandla kuyathulwa. Siyayiqonda le moment heated xa kuzawu-announcwa. Kodwa ukuze for us to save time, sing where you are and don't come at the stage here. Please, comrades, the convener, Sisibaleka uzawungena, but we had to clear le ndawo lena. Ke kopa hore ha le batla ho opela, le opele mo le dutseng teng, le se ka tla ka mona at the moment. Allow this process, comrades. It must still unfold. We are still going to nominate additional members. You are expected to go home. Ningafaka ingoma ke, kodwa ningezi, don't come here. Likaopela that side as well. Comrade Simpiwe, your spectacles are here. Comrade Simpiwe Mbata from Tshwane, your spectacles are here. Comrades will be joined very soon by the president. Will be joined very soon. because already there is media and Amandla. Stella. Amandla. Comrades. Liyatshona ilanga. We don't have time, comrades. Our conference is delayed. Can we settle, comrades? Sihlike phezu kwezitulo. The chair is meant for one to sit on it, not to stand on it. Comrades, here, allow the media to work. This space is meant for media. Let's not congest this area, please, comrades. Amandla, comrades, as we committed that we are going to call, those comrades who were nominated or appointed to serve in the entity, I think yesterday, they went down the stage. Those who were appointed to serve in the entity, they were ushered down yesterday. Now, on behalf of Mama Ubalega and other officials, the ANC, NEC, yesterday we were well briefed by Umama Unandi Mayatula, a elections agency. Mama Nandi, we know we don't have time. It's not for me to address this conference. May I invite you, Mama Mayatula, to come forward. Thank you.
Amandla! Amandla! Long live the ANC Women's League, long live! Malibongwe! Igama lamakhosikazi! Basopa! Molweni delegates, good evening to you all. Mandibulise ku leadership yethu ye-African National Congress, the members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC who has been here with us from the beginning of our conference. Mandibulise ku leadership yethu ye-ANC Women's League, from the national structure to the provincial structure to the regional structure, and to our branches, the basic unit of our organization. Malibongwe! Let me also acknowledge all our guests who are here with us. Comrades, I would like to start by thanking you, the delegates of the African National Congress Women's League, for your patience, for your strength, for not sleeping, for being at the conference for the very first day up to now as the conference continues. I think I would like you to, have a round of applause for yourselves, comrades. Thank you very much for your patience. We have seen your patience, your commitment to the African National Congress Women's League, and to your dedication. Thank you very much, comrades. Allow me also, before I present the report to you on behalf of the election subcommittee, also to thank the team that has done the work in terms of the elections process for our office bearers of the ANC Women's League. I thank the members of the committee. I thank the CEO of the elections agency and her team, the staff. I also thank the observers who also did not sleep at all. So I thought I should really thank them. Comrades, allow me therefore to do what you've been expecting to hear from, to do what you've been expecting us to do as the election subcommittee. May I therefore announce that the total eligible voters, the number of the eligible voters were 3,065. 3065. Those were the total eligible voters. The total number of votes that were cast, it's 2,964, which means that the cancelled ballots were only 2, comrades. Only 2 ballots that were cancelled. So the total valid votes, comrades, were 2,962. So you can see that we just subtracted the 2 from the total eligible voters, and we got the total valid votes of 2,962. So the voter turnout, comrades, was 97%. Allow me, therefore, comrades, to announce the results of your elections, of your leadership of the ANC Women's League. And I'm going to announce in terms of the names of the leadership as they appeared in the ballot box. Allow me to go through all the names per position. And then once I'm done with one position, comrades, we can then celebrate. If you can just please give me that space. Our ballot box started with our leader, Comrade Batabile Dlamini, who got 170 votes. We then have Comrade Tembeka Mkhunu with 1,038 votes. That's 1038. We then have had Comrade Sisisi Tolashe, our leadership, who got 1,729 votes. Comrades, allow me therefore comrades, Amandla, Malibongwe. Comrades, you did not give me an opportunity. Comrades, allow me to declare Comrade Sisisi Tolashe as the president of the ANC Women's League. Thank you, comrades. Can we now sit down and continue with our report? It is important, comrades, also to report to you that we had only 17 spoiled ballot papers, and comrades who were absent were only 8. May I therefore continue, comrades, and report to you the results on the election of the Deputy President of the ANC Women's League. Again, according to the ballot paper, Comrade Lungi Kabashe received 1,661 votes. May I continue, comrades, and report that we then had Comrade Lucas Sylvia, who received about 62 votes. We then had Comrade Swartz, Comrade Benny Swartz, who received 1,190 votes. Comrades, allow me to declare Comrade Lungi Kabashe the Deputy President of the ANC Women's League. Amandla. Long live the ANC Women's League, long live. Malibongwe. Comrades, allow me to continue to present your report on the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League. Again, according to the ballot paper, the first candidate was Comrade Lydia Murwane Zita, and the comrade received 1,081 votes. Comrades, we then had a second candidate, Comrade Nokutula Ngaba, who received 1,611 votes. Comrades, can I finish? Can I finish, comrades? Can I finish? Comrades, okay. Comrades, I requested to report on all the candidates for the Secretary General position. The third candidate was Comrade Weziwe Tikana Klotiwe, and she received 229 votes. There were only 21 spoiled ballots, and there were only 20 absentees. Comrades, can I declare the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League as Comrade Nokutula Ngaba? Amandla! Viva ANC Women's League, viva! Can I then continue, comrades, as we celebrate and report to you on the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC Women's League. The first candidate on the ballot paper was Comrade Makoma Makurupeje, and she received 1,035 votes. The second candidate, comrades, on the ballot paper was Comrade Winnie Ngwenya, who received 181 votes. And the third candidate on the ballot paper for the Deputy Secretary General was Comrade Dina Pule, who received, comrades, 1,713 votes. May I, Malibongwe. Amandla. Amandla. Long live the ANC Women's League, long live. Comrades, can we complete our reports? Can we please complete our report, comrades? And because of what I have seen, I'm going to start somewhere else, comrades, so that we hear all the results. So I'm going to start with the ballot, the spoiled ballot papers, which were only 26. The abstentions were only 47. And allow me, therefore, to report on your candidates, on your Treasurer General of the ANC Women's League. We had Comrade Maketsi Tlape, who received 281 votes. We then had Comrade McQueen Litsoha Mataye, who received 2,608 votes. Comrades, allow me, comrades. Allow me, comrades. Malibongwe. Allow me to declare Comrade McQueen Litsoha Mataye the Treasurer General of the ANC Women's League. Thank you, comrades. I'll hand over to Comrade Penny Machodina. Thank you.
Amandla! Comrades, can you clear the stage? Hayi sizawuninika imani siyayazi lento yenziwa njani. Come down. Thank you very much, Mama Nandi. So my elections. Thank you very much, comrades. Can I invite Sister Andy to bring the newly elected leadership, the top 5, to the stage to take a picture? Ngozi, ID yakho Ngozi.
Isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa amabhunu Afrika. Isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa amabhunu Afrika. Solomoni, Solomon, Solimahlan, Solomon, Solomoni, Solomon, Solimahlan, Solomon. Waye isoja, isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa amabhunu Afrika. Waye isoja, isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa amabhunu Afrika. Solomoni, Solomon, Solimahlan, Solomon, Solomoni, Solomon, Solimahlan, Solomon. Waye isoja, isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa waye isoja, waye isoja owabulawa uSolomoni, uSolomon, Solimahlan, uSolomoni, Solimahlan, waye isoja, isoja nomkhonto wesizwe owabulawa Afrika. Waye isoja, waye isoja wesizwe owabulawa Afrika. uSolomoni, uSolomon, Solimahlan,
Amandla! Comrades, Ngozi, nansi ID yakho. Into lahlekelwa yile phone. Afuna kazoyivula qala. Le phone sizamnika. Comrades, thank you very much, comrade delegates. Allow me now to invite let me explain the process now, comrades. We're not going to take nomination of additional members immediately. Just few minutes, comrades. There will be an item just before nominations. In the next few minutes, we are going to take nominations for additional members. Now allow me to invite the new Deputy President of the ANC Women's League, Comrade Lungi Kabashe, to come and preside over this conference. Comrade Lungi. Masifake ingoma maqabane. Ngoba umongameli uzawungena ngoku, masifake ingoma. We can sing a revolutionary song or songs. Anikwazi ucula?
Emzabalazwe ayekumbira baba Emzabalazwe Nelson Mandela wayekhona Emzabalazwe Jacob Zuma wayekhona
Magagula lindiwe. Magagula lindiwe. Magagula lindiwe. Viva ANC Women's League! Viva! Viva ANC Women's League in South Africa! Viva! Viva President Sisi Nokuzola Dolashe! Viva! Viva Secretary General Nokuthula Nqaba! Viva! Viva Deputy Secretary General Daine Pule! Viva! Viva Comrade Treasurer General McQueen! Viva! Viva delegates! Viva! Viva ANC leadership that has supported us! Viva! Viva President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa! Viva! Viva the officials of the ANC! Viva! Viva ANC youth led by its president! Viva! Viva the Veterans League of the ANC! Viva! Viva the Alliance and Tripartite Alliance! Viva! Malibangwe! Thank you, comrades. Ngiyanibingelela nonke. All protocol observe. Sibingelela nabasihambele imedia na wonke ama-guests akhona in this conference. I greet you all, comrades, all delegates and guests invited, including the media houses. Thank you very much. Let me also appreciate the work that has been done by steering committee of the ANC Women's League Conference, and also appreciate the work that has been done by the Electoral Commission up to this far. Comrades, the President is about to enter the conference the 13th conference of the ANC Women's League. Let's then sing a very revolutionary song to welcome our president until he enters the conference. Please sing, stand up and sing. The president has entered. To this. ANC president is in the house. Sing loudly. Sing loudly. The ANC president is in the house. Sing loudly. Siyekeli ubambi sandla sam Oliver Tambo president of the ANC is in the house. The president of the ANC is in the house. Accompanied by ANC Women's League convener, Comrade Balaga Mbete. The ANC president is in the house. Let's all welcome the president of the ANC. Let's all welcome the president of the ANC.
our seats, comrade. Thank you very much. Now we are about to be addressed by the ANC President, Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa. I want to hear the greetings of the ANC Women's League, delegations from provinces. Western Cape, what do you say to the president? Okay. Mpumalanga, what do you say to the president? KwaZulu-Natal, what do you say? Northern Cape, what do you say? Limpopo, what do you say? Free State, what do you say? Gauteng, what do you say? Eastern Cape, what do you say? What give you zero Eastern Cape? Thank you, Amanda. I know that the stalwarts of the ANC Women's League are also greeting the president. Did I leave anyone out? Any province? Which one? Northern Cape? Northwest? What do you say? Northern Cape, I did call you. Western Cape, I did call you, isn't it? Yes, Gauteng, yes. Thank you very much, comrades. All provincial delegates have greeted the president. We, as the new elected officials of the ANC Women's League, we want to pay tribute and our greatest appreciation for the national task team of the ANC Women's League, led by Comrade Balega Mbete as a national convener. For the work well done. They have brought us here. Thank you very much. With those words, I would like to welcome Comrade Balega Mbete, the convener. I'm not going to say the former convener. She's our veteran, she will remain the convener of the ANC Women's League, to come and introduce our president, the president of the African National Congress. Welcome, Mama.
Amanda Malibongwe Makhosikazi nazi inkokheli zenu sanithembisa on the 11th of July last year sathi we are going to get this instrument on its feet, because this is an instrument of the African National Congress. This is an instrument of the people of South Africa. Now, I'm here not to introduce the president because I don't know how do I start introducing the president. Ngumongameli wenu lo niyamazi. Ngumongameli wethu sonke. We had a few minutes noMama uFanta to brief him that inkomfa ihleli. But we also did not hide that there were difficulties. So he is well briefed without detail. And right now, I'm just going to publicly thank him, the President, and his top leadership for having given us this challenge. For having given us this test, Mongameli. You tested us indeed, but we believe we've delivered, oh Mama, Base South Africa. And therefore, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, without further ado, please come and address oh Mama, who are the soldiers waiting to get the order.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva ANC, viva. Viva COSATU, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Viva Sanko Mailogi Vuga, viva. Phambili nge-ANC Women's League phambili. Roar, Young Lions, roar. Forward with the Veterans League, forward. Amandla. Yeah, I did say Isanko Mailogi Vuga. Comrade President, newly elected President of the ANC Women's League, Comrade Sisisi Tolashe, Comrade Deputy President, Comrade Lungi Kabashe, Comrade Secretary General, Comrade Nogutula Ngaba, Comrade Deputy SG, Comrade Tina Mpule, Treasurer General, Comrade Maqueen Letsoha Matai. Members of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress and the officials who are here, the leadership of the Alliance, comrades and friends. It is indeed a great honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to address the closing session of the 13th National Conference of the ANC Women's League. Let me start off by congratulating all of you, comrades, for holding a very successful ANC Women's League conference. You are on the cusp of concluding your conference. Yes, indeed, there have been challenges, but you have overcome those challenges, and I congratulate you for that. And I'd like also to say those comrades who contested for elections to be members of the top 5, I'd like to thank you in advance for accepting the results of the elections. This is what we do in the African National Congress. We contest for elections democratically, and when we don't succeed, we rally behind those comrades who have been elected, and they become our leaders. So I'd like to call upon those comrades who contested to rally behind the leaders who have been elected. You are in a little while going to start nominations for the National Executive Committee. And once you have concluded the nominations, I do hope and trust that you'll be able to exercise your votes once again and emerge with a fully fledged National Executive Committee of the ANC Women's League, which will take the ANC Women's League forward. The ANC Women's League is the largest women's organization in the whole of South Africa. That is one thing you should be proud of. Your organization spans the entire country from wall to wall, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. There is no organization of women that can rival the African National Congress. Ke lona fela, nini kuphela. As you conclude your conference, you do so on the eve of the Women's Month, which commemorates one of the most memorable contributions of the women of our country to the struggle for liberation, the Women's March of 1956. This conference was privileged to have been joined by one of the leaders of the Women's March, Isithalandwe Seaparangwe, Umama Sophie de Bruyn. Together with leaders like Umama Lillian Ngoyi, Rahima Musa, Helen Joseph, Mam Sophie de Bruyn, and thousands of women confronted a powerful and oppressive adversary by marching onto the union buildings to deliver the demands of the women of South Africa. That march is so well memorialized at the union buildings, and each time we have heads of states visiting our country, as we receive them, we take them through the memorial symbol of that march, which is represented in 2 rocks, one being a grinding rock and one being the base. And I always pause to tell them the story of the Women's March in 1956. And I always tell them how the then so-called Prime Minister Stradom ran away when 20,000 women of our country marched onto the Union buildings. And they always listen with great attention. And I'm looking forward to once again do it when we have another head of state, President Xi Jinping of China, who will be visiting us in August. And I will tell him the story of that memorial symbol. And it is in many ways your story, the story of the women of our country. You are gathered here today as descendants of those courageous women who marched onto the Union buildings in 1956. You are also gathered here because of the many women who, as they were led by Charlotte Maxeke, refused to carry passes in defiance and resistance of the apartheid rulers of our country. As you gather here, comrades, you are, as the women of our country, standing on the shoulders of the women who were jailed in the Defiance campaign, who stood for trial, in the treason trial, who were part of the drafting of the Freedom Charter, and who spent years in prison, who spent years banished under house arrest, and many who spent years in exile. As you gather here, remember the brave and courageous women who joined the ranks of Umkhonto weSizwe, who led workers out on strikes, and who were involved also in the drafting of our Constitution. You are gathered here because of the generations of South African women who refused to remain silent in the face of injustice and who took upon themselves the responsibility to determine their own future as the women of South Africa, but also determining the future of our country. It is because of their struggles that our country is today a democracy with a constitution that guarantees the equal rights for all. Through their tireless efforts, our institutions have been transformed to serve the interests of all South Africans. Women have made significant progress towards the achievement of political, social, and economic freedom. And yet, despite the progress that we have recorded, and there has been tremendous progress, we still have much further to go. And this is where your task as the ANC Women's League starts. And I want to touch on the 10 tasks that I believe that you, as members and as leaders of the ANC Women's League, need to take upon your shoulders to improve the lives of millions of the women of South Africa. The theme of your conference is advancing decisive action towards the full liberation and emancipation of women. Just as a non-racial society is not possible without radical social and economic transformation, a non-sexist South Africa is not possible without the economic emancipation of women. You are therefore called upon, both as members of the ANC Women's League And of course, as the broader democratic movement, all of us are called upon to achieve nothing less than equality for women in every sphere of life. At this moment in our history, our efforts must be focused on the economic and social empowerment of women. And this is the theme that I want to concentrate on tonight, because it is an important task that you, as the ANC Women's League, must take up and make sure that indeed the emancipation of women, both at a social and economic level, does happen, yes, in our lifetime. The social and economic advancement of women must become a deliberate feature of our work in government, in the economy, in business, in every area of South African life, be it sports, be it in our various formations and organizations, and every area that affects the lives of our people and society. It is for this reason that I'd like to highlight 10 key elements of how we can foster the empowerment of women, tasks that you must take on. The first in my book is on education and skills development. We need to provide women with access to quality education and training opportunities so that they are able to participate meaningfully in the economic life of our country. And this includes gender equality, yes, in education, in vocational training and skills development programs. Young women must be able to stay in school, to proceed to further education, and to study what they want, not what other people want. We must ensure that girls and young women participate equally in all areas of education, and especially in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and so on. There is proof that girls and young women are seen to be much harder workers and cleverer than young men in various schools. So this is something that you must foster. Our work to advance and extend access to childcare facilities and early childhood development needs to be accelerated to ensure that more women are able to participate in economic activity. Because women cannot be free until they are free to learn, to earn, and to thrive. This is what you must focus on. The second one, you as the ANC Women's League, you must focus and insist on ensuring that the women of our country have access to economic assets, financial resources. Women often face barriers in accessing financial resources such as credit, loans, and so forth. We must ensure that there is equal access to financial services, and we must promote financial literacy to empower women to start and expand their own businesses, and they must be able to make independent financial decisions. There is one country on our continent where it is reported that women own and run up to 45% of the business enterprises in that country. This is what I would like to see here in South Africa as well, so that women are the ones who run more and more companies. Because in the end, women are natural entrepreneurs. They run households. And households, you can look at them as home enterprises. Women are adept. They have deep knowledge, deep experience. We must therefore make sure that, yes, women do have access to financial and economic assets and resources. This must happen across a number of areas, from access to land, ownership, provision of housing, access to also public employment programs, and many other areas. The access to land is an important aspect of economic empowerment, because land ownership and control are closely linked to a woman's ability to exercise their rights, to make decisions, and to also have a say in matters that affect their lives and the lives of their family members. So land ownership, land being an economic asset, is very important, and we'd like to see more and more of the women of our country owning land, owning economic assets. Women also play a crucial role in agriculture. Would like to see, as we link land with agriculture, we'd like to see more and more women playing a role in that, because we'd like to see them play the crucial role in food production and security. Access to land, therefore, enables them to cultivate the land, to rear livestock, and ensure that there's security for food for their families. And as government, we will continue to enhance and create opportunities for women in agriculture. One of the countries that will be participating in the BRICS summit in a few weeks has said, as one of the guests of the BRICS summit, they have whispered to us that they want to import agricultural products from South Africa in large quantities. And they said they want to import something like 300,000 tons of beans. And that is where I also see the women of our country participating and producing those products so that we can export them to that country. They want to import or us to export livestock. And that is where I also see great opportunities for the women of our country in areas such as those. So there are a number of opportunities which I would like you, as the ANC Women's League, encouraging the women of our country to participate in. Because as we have these opportunities opened, for us it is more important that it should be the women of South Africa who will surge forward, and we will support them. We will make sure, yes, we support the women of our country fully and completely, so that they can play the role that they can play to grow our economy and also to create jobs. Yes, the ownership of land enhances also what we would call the social status of women and recognition within their communities. And the ownership of economic assets can also act as a protective factor for women, reducing their vulnerability to various forms of abuse, of violence, even of exploitation, because it can provide to them a sense of security, stability, and independence, and reducing their reliance on men so that they can be in control of their own lives. And it is also important to empower women so that they can have intergenerational benefits which they can pass on, because it can allow them to invest in their children's education, their health care, and overall well-being, breaking the cycle of poverty and empowering future generations. The third issue, which I do believe that the ANC Women's League must champion, is to ensure that there are equal employment opportunities for the women of South Africa. Promoting gender equality in the labor market is essential for the empowerment of women. This also includes the discriminatory practices and policies, and it will promote, and you must, as the ANC Women's League, insist on equal pay for equal work, providing this is important. You will recall, I think last year after Banyana won the Confederation Cup of our continent, we suddenly found that they were paid differently from Bafana. And we insisted that Banyana must also be paid equally as Bafana. This goes to the heart of the discriminatory practices that still prevail. Recently, Banyana stood their own ground because they felt that they need to be remunerated fairly, and we supported them. And we must therefore insist on the issue of equal pay for equal work. And we must also be promoting that there should be opportunities for women to access higher paying positions and leadership positions, because those positions must not only be reserved for men, be it in companies, be it in our organizations, be it wherever. The women of our country must be able to get into those top positions. We must ensure that women have an equal chance of being employed, of pursuing the occupation of their choice, and also being promoted and receiving decent pay. We need to ensure that women are equally represented in the workplace and that there is full equity. Because men in our country are more likely to be employed than women. Men are more likely to earn better salaries than women, even for doing the same job. And we must also change the sexist attitudes within the workplace and challenge all employers to ensure that women, yes, are valued in the workplace. And we must end all forms of harassment and discrimination in the workplace. Women are often harassed in the workplace by men. Men demanding certain things from women. demanding love, demanding sex, so that women can move on. And this is a practice that we as South Africans must abhor. We must say it must come to an end. Which for a woman to move on to higher positions, some men require that you must do certain things. That must end. My pelelonto. Women must be respected and accepted and recognized for their own sake. This means that we need to change attitudes about the role of women and men and girls and boys within the home as well. Women continue to do unpaid work in society, and we must recognize that women have a greater role and value than what we ascribe to them. Now, with regard to entrepreneurship and business development, we need to encourage women's entrepreneurship, and we want to take a conscious and deliberate effort to support the businesses that are owned by women, because that in itself is a very powerful economic tool. This must be done through, yes, access to finance, as I said. I announced that 40% of procurement of goods and services in government must be allocated to women-owned and led businesses. Now, some people thought I was smoking something, but I can assure you that no, I was not smoking something. This is an important issue so that we can empower the women of our country. And in government, we are moving forward with this. Yes, we are moving forward in preparing women with workshops and training. It is taking time, but it is something that must happen so that the women of our country must know that, yes, they have a set aside of 40% of the procurement of services and goods. So, as the ANC Women's League, we would like you to lead this effort, to move government along, because government tends to move very slowly on a number of things. Therefore, the ANC Women's League must play the role of advocacy, must play the role of monitoring, of ensuring that indeed this is happening, so that we realize this. Our laws and policies must promote and enhance gender equality and protect women's rights and make sure that discriminatory laws and practices are brought to an end. Social norms must also change, challenging and transforming harmful gender norms such as patriarchy. We have spoken in the past about traditions and practices like, that we have in various parts of our country. Those that militate against the equality that women must have must be discontinued. The ANC Women's League must ensure that this is achieved through awareness, campaigns, education, and community engagement. We must also ensure that women have access and enjoy or have access to health care, including sexual and reproductive health services, because this will enable the women of our country to plan their families, make informed decisions about their health, to be able to participate fully in economic activities without being limited by their reproductive roles. Empowerment starts in the early years of a person's life. Every pregnant woman and every newborn must receive adequate health care, nutrition, social support for children, particularly in the first 1,000 days of life. We must also provide adequate infrastructure for women, childcare facilities, affordable housing, as well as ensuring that we reduce child or caregiving burdens and enabling women to fully participate in the workforce. I was overjoyed when I was in an Imbizo in the Western Cape, when the Western Cape MEC said to me that, President, the house, because we were handing over a house, the house that we were handing over to a lady who had waited for years and years for her house. We had built for 160,000 rand, and we handed it over to her mahala without her paying a cent. But then what made me pleased was when the MEC said to me, President, this house which we built for 160,000 is now worth 400,000 rand in the market. So what we have done, we have given this woman full economic empowerment and wealth. And I was pleased that this government, in pursuing its policy of housing our people, is able to hand over such a valuable asset to a woman in South Africa. That really made me happy. And we will continue to do that. We should also encourage and embark on gender-responsive processes so that we are able to understand the specific challenges and barriers that are faced by women in the economy, because this will enable us as policymakers and organizations to design targeted interventions to monitor progress towards women's empowerment. We have been talking about gender budgeting for some time. We must use this as an approach to take into account the needs and the priorities of women. It should involve analyzing the impact of government budgets on ensuring that there is gender equality, but more importantly, empowerment of women. Because it should be that gender budgeting must promote that equality that we seek to have. And we should therefore embark on it. We've been talking about it for quite a while, and this is an area that we now need to move quickly on. Lastly, amongst my 10 points, we would like to see the ANC Women's League promoting more and more collaboration and partnerships with a number of key role players. The ANC Women's League is not an island. It does not operate on its own. It must be able to reach out to various formations and role players. As the ANC Women's League, you must be connected. You must be linked to a whole number of partners so that they can join you in the whole process of empowering the women of our country. Because the empowerment of women requires collaboration between government, civil society, the private sector, as well as international organizations, be they development agencies or what. By working together, stakeholders can leverage their resources, their expertise, their networks to implement comprehensive and sustainable strategies for women's empowerment at an economic level. I put these 10 key elements to you because it is important that you, as the ANC Women's League, you must be seen to be leading the women of our country. You must be seen to be leading the process of empowering the women of our country. And already you are doing that in many, many ways. Today, you can be proud of the fact that, having started off in 1991 in insisting that 30% of the leadership of the ANC structures must include women, you moved to 50%. And today you can be proud that you are the ones who led the process of making sure that all our structures in the African National Congress are based on 50-50. Women are no longer held back. And we have now accepted this as a norm. It is a practice, it is a tradition, it is a protocol, and we are never going to turn back. There should never be a structure in the African National Congress which has more men than women. That should never happen again. And you are the ones who must keep on insisting. Sometimes, as an organization, we do backslide. For instance, when delegations are put together, sometimes it is men who are preferred. You must put that to an end and say, this shall not happen because we are the African National Congress. Today, your national cabinet is 50-50. There aren't many cabinets in the world that had reached that level. And sometimes when one meets other heads of state, they look at us with envy and they often say, how did you get here? And I often say, the ANC Women's League led us to this point. And I am very proud that we are where we are. Because, comrades, the task of the emancipation of women is one that we all share, men and women together, within our movement, and we must make sure that it happens in society as well. The ANC Women's League, therefore, occupies a unique position within the progressive movement of women in our country, and you have also to lead the fight against patriarchy, to lead the fight to end all laws, practices, and attitudes that inhibit women's full emancipation is what you need to be leading, both in the public as well as in the private. You need to lead the fight for social and economic empowerment. And you must also, together with all of us in society, continue to lead the fight against all forms of violence against women. And this is where you, as the ANC Women's League, you have also excelled, because you are the ones who raised the issue of violence against women more prominently. And I would like to see you, yes, working together with men, making sure that we do end violence and abuse against the women of South Africa. Gender-based violence is what you must work hard to bring to an end. Women are in a powerful position to drive all these changes. You have an enormous political and social voice. The ANC Women's League's voice needs to be heard. It needs to be noticed, and it needs to be heeded. As I said, there is no other women's organization that I know of which has a powerful voice like you as the ANC Women's League. You do so because women make up more than half of our population, and you therefore occupy a place of pride, and you need to do so with confidence. You need to do so with determination. You need to make sure that, yes, you are never undermined. You are never taken for granted. You are never pushed to the back. And you never allow men to override you and men to be just in control of you. You are the women of South Africa. So, comrades, don't hold yourselves back. But we also expect you to encourage the women of South Africa to surge forward, to have a citizen activist type of approach, to be more active in public affairs, to make sure that, yes, women are recognized for what they are. Now, you are, as women, you constitute the largest number of South Africans who are registered to vote than men. And at voting time, it is you as the women of South Africa who turn out in larger numbers than men. So therefore, as we approach the 2024 elections, the ANC Women's League has an important role to play. And let me immediately say, by the way, you have always played within the African National Congress the most important role of all of us. Because when it comes to mobilizing for the ANC, you are right at the top there. And we thank you for that. Having been in many elections, I have always seen the ANC Women's League really leading the charge. And as the ANC Women's League, when you came with another new innovation of having a young woman's desk, you just excelled way beyond what we had thought of. You have been able to draw young women into the ANC Women's League. We used to think that the ANC Women's League was for, Abo Mama Badala. And now we know, Obuti, yes, even the younger women who were abafaka ma high heel angaka bakhona ku ANC Women's League. Abafaka o lipstick and bakhona ku ANC Women's League. And I won't talk about a whole range of other things, but we know that you have been able to attract young women into the ANC Women's League. And yes, having brought them into the young women's desk, they are also ready to lead. They are ready to lead as well. So it is important that you, as the ANC Women's League, you must continue to mobilize the women of our country, and you will be able to mobilize them not with slogans, not with just shouting. I have been told, and by the way, I will make this confession. Towards your conference, groups of women said, "President, we want to come and brief you." And they came. And I made sure that I don't take sides. I made sure that I don't take sides. And I listened. I listened because I was firm on the principle that we as men must not interfere in the affairs of women. So, yes, all sides came. They were photographed with me. Bahamba babanye basa. They were also photographed with me. Bonke batu President, we are stand. And it was so. So, comrades, that was the approach that I used. Now, as women, you have an important role to play, also in the forthcoming elections. I will be relying on you to ensure that you raise the voice, the campaign, the presence of the African National Congress right throughout the country. And I know that as we go around campaigning, we will find you in the front line. And this time round, you are also going to be joined by the ANC Youth League. Because the Youth League is ivugile. It's a Youth League. And the young lions are going to be roaring. They are going to be up front. And they are also going to ensure an ANC victory in the next coming election. Now, Comrade Balega, she was briefing me. She said, "Comrade President, you have an army of women, and here they are. And I can see you all that you are the army of the African National Congress." But she also told me, and this was the point I was making, that you will lead the ANC Women's League, the women of South Africa, not through slogans, not through shouting. You will lead them with content. Comrade Baleka was saying, the days that we have had for this conference have been too few. We needed to settle down and discuss the content. And she said, the content, the papers that have been prepared, what you already have prepared as the ANC Women's League has a lot of substance. And I've been told that you took the ANC's resolutions, conference resolutions, you dissected them. You looked at them very critically. And you then started commenting on those, and where there was lacking with regard to the empowerment, the situation of women, you have added much richer content. So that's what you contribute to South Africa. You are women abane content. You are women who have substance. You are not empty vessels. You are not just people who make slogans. You know what you're talking about. Even these 10 elements that I put forward, these are matters that you already know. You are already working on them. And all I was adding was that I would like to see you add oomph, add energy, so that we can fully empower the women of South Africa. For the future of our country really revolves around our ability to empower the young women of our country, the women of our country, across all those 10 issues that I mentioned. So therefore, you must be unapologetic. You must also be unapologetic about setting out the successes that you have influenced. Because when it comes, yes, to the successes that we've made with regard to the rights of women, you have been in the forefront. Even those difficult issues, such as paying attention to gender-based violence, it is your voice that has been prominent. Yes, you have confronted prejudice and sexism within our own ranks as the ANC, but you're also doing it, and you must do it across society. So you have also challenged the notion that only men can lead. Yes, you have led over a number of years in a number of areas and our structures, and we thank you for that. You must continue to play this role, and because it is through this role that we not only transform the ANC, but transform society. And you've also been playing a role to be able to have this conference moving towards the end on a successful basis. You are contributing to the renewal and to the rebuilding of the ANC. You must also now focus on unity. You may well have come to conference from different angles. You may well have come to conference on different preferences of leadership and what have you. But that must end here. From here, you must now be united. Because you must make the ANC Women's League to be strong and to be united. Those who contested against each other must be able to stand in front of our people holding hands and say, here is the leadership that we as women have elected. We are going to rally behind them, and we are going to make sure that they succeed. All I ask, comrades, is that you must wish the leadership that you have elected and those that you are going to put in the national executive, you must wish them to succeed, because they must lead this organization and make sure that this organization leads the struggle of women in our country. So factionalism, if there was any, ends here, today at this conference. The divisions end here, because if they persist, you are weakening the ANC Women's League. You are taking the ANC Women's League back. In the African National Congress, we have been forging. We've been forging to cement ourselves as a unified leadership and a unified membership. And comrades, we are making progress. We are making progress. The mere fact that the ANC Women's League can hold a conference today means that the ANC is on the march to being united, and we thank you for that. Because renewing and uniting and rebuilding the ANC is what should be prominent, and it should also be prominent to yourselves as the ANC Women's League. And yes, there must be no position, no deployment even, and there must be no task that is close to the women who are members of the African National Congress Women's League. And yes, I want to commend you, but I want you to work even harder so that we can take on the task of bringing an end to gender-based violence. And also, and in this regard, I also compliment you. You are the ones who have been leading this charge of discrimination against the LGBTQI+ community. We commend you for that, because you are the ones who are leading this charge, including disabled people, even people who are living with albinism. You are the ones, as the ANC Women's League, who keep on raising this issue. So we commend you for that, and we would like you to carry on with that. So in the end, comrades, you are the hopes of the African National Congress. You are the people who are going to ensure that the ANC gets an outstanding victory in the elections that we are going to. You are the army that the ANC has. And I want you to play that role with dignity, with confidence, with respect, and making sure that in the end, the ANC does emerge victorious. Now, in the end, I want to end by thanking Comrade Balega Mbete as the convener. We gave her a very difficult task. And she was saying to me, President, when you asked me to be a convener, you as the leadership did not get my consent. You did not consult me. You just imposed this task on me. And she says, it delayed my retirement. It delayed my retirement, but I learned a lot. And I am grateful, she said, for this responsibility that you gave me. So we say thank you. We say thank you to Comrade Balega. We also say thank you to Comrade Marupini Ramokgopa for also an outstanding task for bringing the ANC Women's League to this stage. It was not easy. It was difficult. We also want to thank the SGO. The way the SGO supported this whole process. Secretary General, the First Deputy Secretary General, yes, even the TG, by the way, played a key role to bring you to where you are, because she had to fund this conference and make sure that it happens. We thank them all, but I also want to give a special thanks to members of the NEC who were deployed to this conference, and some of them are sitting behind me here. And I want to thank them for having been here. Some of them are men, but I want to thank them for not interfering in the affairs of women. So even as we brought them here, I have confidence that they did not interfere like me. I won't interfere, and we are very pleased that you've been able to have this successful conference. And I wish you well, comrades, as you now go on with the nominations of members of the National Executive Committee. I hope this process does not take you all night, but you must nominate and rise from this conference with the National Executive Committee. You must rise from this conference having elected your leadership, the leadership that will then take this glorious organization of women of our country forward. With those words, I thank you, and I say, Amandla, Amandla, Viva ANC, Viva, Ke a leboga.
the conference and our guest, we will have to allow our president to leave shortly, but before he leaves, we'll allow the choir that has been entertaining us from the first day of the opening of our session to this another second day of our open session. Let me allow our electoral committee to take a break. They will come back after 40 minutes. Okay, ke bantu bami no choir master, just nje give the president one song. One item. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, President.
Yo,
last one.
ANC